I believe. You get the courage. I believe. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the oh my god. We have the blue Protoss player with the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone, Jumy. There was no banter. There was, yeah, I was about to say I was about to say these are 2v2 partners, by the way. God. It is Jumy. They played a place in 2v2. And in the top left hand corner, we have the so there's something to talk about here. We have the Zerg player. In the top left, we do have our Zerg player. It is YoungYakov. Yo, Milky Cow is cracked in 2v2, by the way. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamma time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. But yes, for those that are curious, Uthermal is hosting a 2v2 tournament on a regular basis, and Jumy and Yakov, they're teammates. Typically they're teammates. I say that, I think it was last week. Did Jumy play with Showtime? I think Jumy played with Showtime, and Yakov, who did he play with? I think Wayne played with Night Phoenix. Milky Cow, did Milky Cow play with Yakov? Oh, maybe. The drama. But yes, these two are typically 2v2 partners. They are. They're some of our couples, I should say, in StarCraft. Yeah. They pair up. Beautiful. The charm. Where is Eva when you need him? Where is he? As for now, we're settling in. Oh, Jesus. We have Hatchgas pull into a very fast third base. Very greedy build here from YoungYakov. Not what I was expecting. And also, if you're in the chat, true. Predictions. I believe they're still open. I believe. Yeah. So place your bets while you can on who you think will claim the series. It will not surprise me if these do go to the ace match, if they go all the way to game 3. Will not surprise. Oh no. Oh no. The kids are memeing. Ah no. We're gonna be here for a while. Time to make some breakfast. Aye. As for now, it is going to be Stargate open out of Jumy. Likewise, across the map, Yakov is again cutting corners. Now, the reason why he can afford this fast third base is no second queen. He delays the second queen here in favor of a faster hatchery. So there's a bit of a give and take as to, you know, what this does cost. It does mean you have less lava early on, you have less units early on. You can see here that actually actually Yakov, he skips Zerglings. He skips Zerglings as well, making purely drones. So this is still a very greedy build here from YoungYakov, and so far he's getting away with it. Overlord pokes in. You can see Jumy, he wants it. He wants the Overlord. Ah, no. As the Overlord does get away from the Stalker, coming in for a scout. Again, it is going to be that Stargate into Oracle. Ah, Imbapapi. True. He's scouting for free. What are hallucinations? What are they? Throws out the spray. And with the Overlord, he will scout. He will confirm, we'll get eyes on the Stargates, get eyes on the Oracle. And on the fast Twilight count, that's a council before third base. Oh my god. A very aggressive build, and unfortunately, oh, I see. I was about to say that he threw it down under the Overlord, which is kind of weird. You would never do that. But he did, and that should be suspicious here. He's letting him know. But is he lying? Is he telling the truth? Yakov, would he lie to you? So what I was about to say here is that, again, he cancelled. Yakov doesn't know. Jumy tells him he cancelled. Does Yakov believe him? Does he believe Jumy? I wouldn't blame him if he doesn't. Like, Jumy, he says a lot of things. Like, oh no. Oh no. The deception. The mind games. This is where you tell him and be like, actually, I'll be honest, I didn't cancel. Just, oh no. Oh, the mind games. Behind this, we are just no reaction. Like Yakov, he believes him. He believes Jumy, or he believes his own intuition here. Droning, he's getting 1, 3, up to 5 gases already here. So greedy, goes up to 5 gases. Now he throws down the Roach Horn. Again, this is around a 440, 435-ish Roach Horn timing, so much later Roach Horn here, droning up heavily. He's got a couple of Zerglings. He's working with incoming information. He hasn't really seen much at all as to what's happening across the map. He hasn't seen the timing of the third base, which would let him know that it's safe to drone, but he doesn't even know that. Just, yeah, just taking a chance here. Yakov is gambling, and he's gambling well so far. Ooh. Oracles, they do hit the 4th. At the same time, Adepsi on the right-hand side. Queens that respond to the Oracles. Meanwhile, Adepsi shading in. Ooh, Link's out of position. Yeah, Link's out of position. Queen's out of position as well. Drone's going to be going down. They pull the ball. He's forced to pull in. And so far, 3 drones going down. Not bad. Gets 3 workers. Adepsi do shade past. Oracle's going to be zoned away. 1 Oracle does go down. Oh, that wasn't quite worth it. Not worth losing 1 Oracle. Not yet. And that's going to be 5, 6 drone kills. So 6 drones for what? 4 Adepts and an Oracle. And all the best trade. Adepts go down. Throws out the Spire. Let's go. Going into Mutas. Muta's going to be on the horizon. And Jumy behind this going into his own charge +1 timing. Into Archons as well. He's getting there. Yakov searching for a probe. Does take a second to the face. Roaches are building up. And so far, Yakov, he has drawn up quite nicely here. It's going to be up to the Oracle to scan and confirm what's going on. The Oracle does dive in towards the natural. Gets eyes on some of the tech. Gets eyes on the Eva Chamber. Not much else. Goes into the main. Revelation. But doesn't confirm the tech. Doesn't get eyes on the Hydrogen or what we have here, which is the Spire. Ooh, and we're doubling down. We're going for Dropper Lords. Overlord speed on the way. Drop Lords as well. A little bit of everything here. This is going to be quite committed, as Yakov, he hasn't preserved too much gas. Okay. Eva will come in the season finale after everyone betrays Jumy. Eva will be there for him. I don't believe you. Jumy will be there for Eva. I believe that. Be there. As we go, 4th base going to be delayed. Yakov does dive in, does get an Immortal, not bad. Ooh, assuming he gets it. One more volley, does get the Immortal, has to back up from here. Behind this, we have 10 Mutas in production. As, Jesus, Yakov here responds, Jumy responds so hard. We have a massive wall of shield batteries, cannons. He fully walls up, and Yakov sees this. He sees, he confirms, and what does he do? He's droning. He's droning on up, he's taking into Hydras. 5th base is on the way. Queens do drop in, they focus on the Oracle. Nice pickup. Nice pickup from here. Does transfuse. Oh my god, Storm is done. That's on the arm, but these are good trades for the Roaches. Takes out an Archon. The Archon's going to be falling. Zealots as well. Not bad trades whatsoever. From here, he's going to be cleaned up, and here come the Mutas. Yeah, Mutas have revealed themselves. A moving into the army, which is not ideal. There's a Phoenix. Yeah, there's a Phoenix, and this is giving Jumy time. Destroying down cannons. Destroying down shield batteries. Blink is not done. Yeah, there is no blink. Mutas, they keep Jumy contained. Behind this, Yakov has been droning. He's up to 81 workers. Again, that 5th base is on the way. We have Hydra upgrades on the way, Infestation bit for that Hive tech. And he's switching into Hydra until eventually Lurker tech as well. So I'm liking this tech switch here from Yakov. And again, when he pushed in between the bases, he wasn't really too committed. Yes, he lost his Queens, or he moved in with the Queens. He lost some Roaches, but he didn't max out by any means. Didn't over-invest into Roaches. Oh, going for that Templar. Does force a Morphin. Does force an Archon. Does force a Storm. Mutas are going to be thrown away. It's a little bit wasteful here from Yakov. Oh, let's go the boys. Boys are going to be pulled back. Does catch out 2 of those Phoenixes. But there's still 2 Storms. Yeah, there's soon to be 2 Storms available. Yakov does cut back. And again, he's been taking this entire time. Like, sure, he doesn't break Jumy, but he's trading with him. Behind this, Hive is on the way. Lurker Den is on the way. Joining up to 90 workers. Ay, ay, ay. And again, Yakov, he'll be the first to max out. I mean, he's almost there. He's at 180. Soon to be at 200 supply. And again, it's going to be a rough defense here for Jumy. Again, Jumy, he overreacted earlier. He just invested so heavily here into cannons and shield batteries, whereas this could have been a base, right? This could have been a faster fourth. This could have been faster tech. Jumy was convinced there was an all-in coming when there wasn't. And I want to say that Yakov did a really good job at selling the story. Nice storms. Storms so far are solid. Jumy, he's holding on. Jumy's in a position here where he cannot push, but he can defend. Like, you can be down 30, 40, 50 army supply and still defend quite well with side defense, with storms, just buying time for sky toss. Like, fleet beacon is done, Tempest production has begun. Like, Jumy, he can max out from here. He's got a fourth base. All he has to do is defend on 4 bases, and all this side defense is coming into play. This is where there's a lot of pressure on Yakov to do something about this, to try to break one of these expansions. It's not easy. Not easy to break a 4th base here on Maganatha. It's possible the best he could hope for is just contain and deny the 5th. Deny the 5th, spread creep, take more bases, investing more upgrades, get a spire, get a second spire, work on spire upgrades as well. There we go, +2 air attackers on the way. So these are good moves here from Yakov. And we'll see how Jumy recovers. Because again, Jumy, he's about to max out himself. He's got his 4 bases, that's all he needs. Yakov is splitting up his army. Also, I'm sorry to hear, Pekawet. Sorry to hear. Less than 3. I mean, less than 3. Take care of yourself. As Yakov is moving in. And again, it's going to be difficult to break some of these expansions. We do see a couple of lurkers poking in towards a 4th base. The 5th base is denied. Storms likewise going to be connecting. Nice storms on the lurkers. Does get an immortal. Like, every little pickoff counts. Gets an immortal, gets an archon, gets a second immortal. Lurkers are going to be cleaned up, and everything's going to go down. And with that, Jumy does take the fight. And was that worth it? Sure, Yakov, what did he accomplish? He canceled the 5th. He canceled the 5th base. He picked up a couple of units here, but this was an expensive trade. Ooh, meanwhile, one lurker behind the mineral line gets 10 probes. Okay. 10 workers go down. But now Jumy can expand, and now he can get a 5th base. I do feel like Yakov did overextend. He denied the 5th, which is good, but then he kept going. Then he kept on pushing. And now Jumy, he can bolster up his army even more. Meanwhile, Yakov is doing the same. He's got corruptors on the way. There we go. We have 9 corruptors with the main army, so it's a little bit more well refined. We are missing spellcasters. There's no Vipers currently. There's no Infestors. Vipers, they can play a critical role when it comes to abducting, when it comes to blinding clouds, parasitic bombs, and the abductions. As things they do hit the 3rd. At the same time, that is into the main. These lurkers are going to go down. Yeah, this is another big overextension here from YoungYakov, but he does get the expansion though. Takes down the Nexus. Likewise, corruptors are coming from behind. They get 1 Tempest. 1 Tempest goes down. Madness is denied. But again, these have been some expensive losses. Sure, he gets a Nexus, but I mean, now we have a new 5th base anyway. We can just transfer over. Likewise, Yakov lost what, 4 or 5 lurkers in the process. He's remaxing. Rebuilding his army. And if Yakov, if he can go back in, if he can once again deny the 5th, deny the 4th, if he can bring down these bases, then it can be worth it in the long run. It can be worth it, but oh boy, here comes Jumy. And here comes Jumy. He's almost maxed out, has a terrifying army. And we're going for a pseudo base trade. Lings, they do hit the 5th. Jumy pushing through the center expansion. And I'll be honest, I don't think his main army can be stopped. There's, what, 4 lurkers? Oh, there's barely any. It's going to be 7 lurkers. Lings, they will kill the 5th. Not bad. And again, without a high lurker count, this army will not be stopped. Here we go, the 7 lurkers. Meanwhile, expansion goes down. Massive storms in the mineral line. Catching at 8 drones. Pulling back. Lurkers do hold. That's 2 bases going down. And now we have carriers on the way. Getting into more carriers. We're attempting this around. Let's go. Yeah, we do collapse in. Storms they zone away. Yeah, they zone pretty well. And Yakov, you have to retreat. Zelaramba here towards the top side. Likewise, Prismir into the natural. Jumy, unfortunately, is maxed, so he actually can't warp anything in with that Prism. As he bleeds out units, he can. Yeah, and he's just pulling Yakov apart. He has done it at this point. Warps in some zealots. Northern base going down. Natural's going down. There's barely an economy. GG gets caught as he pulls Yakov apart. And Jumy, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG well played. Jumy, he does claim the first game. Again, a very intense back and forth here on Maganatha. Initially, I was really liking Yakov's position. Initially, he did a great job when it came to trying to fake out his opponent, so when it came to forcing an overreaction. But what I will say, the big moment in favor of Jumy was he got a 4th. He got his 4th base up and running. Once that happened, as we were mentioning at the time, it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to max. That he was just going to max out, and he was going to be able to build up a Skytoss army. In the end, Yakov, he was able to kind of force his opponent to overreact to defenses on 3 bases, but again, he overextended, he overcommitted, and because he was bleeding out so much of his army, he couldn't threaten the 4th base, which is what mattered, which was what was important, was threatening the 4th base, denying the 4th base, containing Jumy for as long as possible. Yakov wasn't able to do that. He wasn't able to pull it off. Likewise, you can also argue that Yakov's switch into mutas, that also slowed him down because it wasn't really effective, didn't really achieve anything. It forced out some Phoenixes, and he was able to get 2 Templar and Morphin and Archon. But then if you remember, right after the Archon got morphed, he just moved the mutas in and just lost them, right? Like, so in the end, the mutas didn't pay for themselves. It was a big investment, wasn't really worth it either. So that also kind of set Yakov behind. It kind of threw away a little of the momentum that he had, because if you remember, he went into the mutas right after he had forced that overreaction, and the mutas weren't worth it in the end. GG. GG well played with that. Jumy does take the first game, and now we're getting into game numero 2. Oh boy. And we'll see if Yakov can recover. We'll see if he can bounce back. See if he can bounce back. Again, I do think that Yakov had a stronger start, but it was the follow-up. It was the follow-up that was lackluster, that left much to be desired. This is where Jumy thrived. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go, as we're getting into our next game, as we are following our players into game number 2 here in the quarterfinals of Sparkling Tuna Cup number 98. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of Persephone, we have the German Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone, leading the series 1-0. It is Jumy. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. It's red Zerg player himself. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can force the ace match. It is YoungYakov. We go. Whew, here we go. And again, Yakov, he played quite well last game, especially when it comes to the early to mid game. Like, that's where I feel like he was thriving. That's where I feel like he was ahead. Unfortunately, as the game progressed, as the game went longer, he lost that lead. He took some really rough fights, some really expensive fights as well, where he was losing wave after wave of lurkers, where he wasn't really achieving too much for it, where it just was not worth it in the end. And Jumy was able to recover and snowball out of control. GG. GG. Now we're going to be loading into Persephone. The rush distance by ground is far shorter on this map compared to Maganatha. Hello. Jumy faking out a cannon rush. Overlord is on the run, or is on the chase. Of course, we can see just standard opener out of Jumy. Yakov just making sure that's the case. Once again, going for the same build. Now, this opener made sense on Maganatha, right? It made sense just because of how large the map is and how macro it is as well. You can get some corners. Here on Persephone, this is a bold choice. What are we seeing here? Hatch, gas, pool. We go straight into a third expansion, straight into a third hatchery, which once again means that we are going to be delaying and skipping link production and also delaying the second queen. So 1 queen instead of 2. That's how you can afford the hatchery, the expand. Likewise, purely droning. No Zerglings. And we'll see how Jumy does respond. Now it does go for the Stargate opener once again. The probe does confirm the timing of the hatchery, so he knows. Does know. He's aware. From here he does poke in. Poking in, keeping an eye on the saturation. Likewise, we'll keep an eye on the tech of choice. Last game we saw that YoungYakov was just hyper greedy, took his gases, got into a lair first, into a safety bathing nest, into hydras. Oh sorry, into roaches. No bathing nest, just straight roach. Into eventually muta play. Meanwhile, that's going to be a Void Ray opener out of Jumy. Okay, so already he's mixing it up. No Oracle. Now, the purpose of the Void Ray, of course, is to high tech, is to hunt down overlords, is to keep Yakov in the dark. And that is going to be a Twilight Council before expand. And this time it's real. This time it is real. Remember last game, Jumy, he canceled, he threw it down under the Overlord, then he canceled. They told him he canceled it. Yakov believed him. Things they figured, nice round. Yeah, nice round on the Adept. He gets 1. But only 1. And this should be Glaives. Technically, because it's Jumy, I wouldn't rule out Charge, but it's going to be one or the other. There it is. Glaives are going to be on the way. We have 2 gates in production as well. From here, we can go up to another set of gateways, up to 6. And we can warp in Adepts, of course, and keep them back, build them up, hide them, and then just send it across the map instead. Now, it's going to be a 4:30 Roachhorn timing, around 4:30-ish. Pretty standard here, a little bit earlier, but just to be safe. So I would say a relatively safe opener out of Yakov. With this, he'll have access to roaches to defend, to survive against the Adepts. Question is, does he make any roaches, or does he have it just there just to be safe? If it's a late scout, if it's a late reaction, then things can go south real fast and real quick. And here they come, Adepts are moving out. Yakov, he sees nothing, by the way. Again, because of the Void Ray, the Overlords have been hunted down. We have 1 Zergling moving out. But once again, Yakov, he will miss this. Now, thankfully, he's making some safety roaches. And oh my god, he does have a drone in position. He hasn't seen much, but he's getting ready. Good read. Yeah, good read here from Yakov. Drone is in position. Ooh, he does not wall off in time. So he had the tools to defend. The drone was in position, but no wall off. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, FC busted between the bases. Ling's gonna be hunted down. Takes down the Zerglings, gets into the mineral line. Drone's gonna be falling. And this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. This is becoming far too much damage already. Oh, 5 drone kills. Oh, did miss a shade. Okay. Yakov will defend. Not bad. I assumed more damage would be done, and we're getting some drone damage here at the third, but never mind. Goes to the queen. Here gets a couple of workers. There's the target firing. Yeah, boys are being pulled. 11 drone kills, much better. And is that enough damage? 11 workers for how many adepts? Oh, 16. Yeah, again, that was a brutal trade from Jumy. Ideally, he did want to trade a little bit more efficiently. Now Yakov has a massive roach army. Now he can counterattack. Now he can punish. Now back at home, how many immortals do we have? So far, one immortal. We have a wall of cannons and shield batteries on the way. Void rays are building up. Void rays and immortals are going to be ideal against a roach all-in. Yakov is not going for the all-in. He's droning. Okay, he's droning up. And then so shade into the mineral line. They do get a queen. Leading some workers. Another 5 drones go down. This is nice damage. Ideally, we do need more. So Yakov is taking. Okay. Taking into lurkers. So this game is much faster to take into lurkers. This game, he's also droning up a little bit harder as well. But he's not really making use of this army. So Jumy, he can safely stabilize on 3 bases. Can he get a 4th? Can he get up in time? Now going for the fleet beacon. Obviously just hunted down. So dealt with. Jumy, he hasn't seen much of the natural. Yeah, he hasn't seen the tech. He hasn't seen the would-be hive. Jumy's playing blind. And even though Jumy, he is like turtling and defending and getting a 4th base and getting to Sky Toss, this time it feels like Yakov is just a little bit faster to tech this time and faster to just recognize the game state and just build up into Hydralisk and Viper, assuming we get into Viper tech. So he does get eyes on the 4th. Slides forward into the main, thrown away. Takes down the Void Ray, Hydras is scouted. Here we go, we have 10 lurkers in production. Yakov is maxed out. It's going to be maxed out with 10 lurkers. And is Jumy going to be able to survive this? Jumy's got 3 Eye Templar, 3 Storms, 3 Immortals. He's got some cannons and shield batteries. It's going to be close. On the one hand, the lurker count is nice, but there's not that much support for the lurkers, not yet. Storm is solid. Lurker's still moving in. Oh, does catch a High Templar. Sorry, does catch a Tempest, but to say. Tempest taking a lot of hits. Taking a lot of damage. Yeah, the lurkers are on the high ground. There are enough lurkers, and they're doing it. They're pushing through. Tempest, they can clean this up, but there's only 2 Tempests. We need a Storm, and a good one. And even then, it's not going to be easy. Oof. Yeah, Yakov gets punished. Storm of the lurkers. The base goes down. It does break through the natural. And again, Yakov, he's done it. At this point, he's done it. Because from here, he can just go straight into the main. He can just go straight into the main base. Jumy catching reinforcements. Better positioning here for Jumy. Workers so far, they're left on their own. Oh. And now Jumy can collapse on this. Yeah, cleans up all the lurkers. Yakov's army is going to be cleaned up. He's still trying to rally across the map. Being a little bit wasteful. Oh my god, they're stacking. Oh, where's the probes? They stack up the gas. 29 probe kills. This one lurker has 28 workers. This one lurker just killed the mineral line. That should not have happened. That should not have happened. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Jumy, he did not notice that one lurker. And now Jumy has no economy. Like, imagine, like, if it wasn't, unironically, if it wasn't for that lurker, Jumy, he'd have 70 probes. Well, he'd have, yeah, 70 workers. Have 74 probes. He'd have an economy to work with. He could resaturate his main base to retake his natural. But he lost half his workers to one lurker. Here we go now. Yakov is going for the kill. Going for the kill, going for the throat. Storm doesn't connect. Better storm towards the end. Yakov, he should have done it from here. Yeah, pushing further in. I assume it's going to peel off towards the right hand side. That's a lot of cannons. Jesus. That's a lot of cannons. Nice force field, catching out the lurker. Okay, is there a way for Jumy to recover from here? I mean, Cloak is now running out. There's a high Tempest count. And without a good amount of Corruptors, these Tempests, they just bully the ground army. Oh, true. Healing pad. Healing of the Immortals. Nicely done. Immortals healed up. Now we have a Corruptor count. So it's going to be 9. 9 Corruptors here for Yakov. We have some spell caches as well. And this time Yakov is done well enough to deter the economy. Last game, that was a big thing that Jumy had going for us, was his unhindered 4 bases. Yakov trying to force his way in. There's a recall. Does recall over. Yakov, he will soon max out. His lurker count is quite low, so that's definitely something that he has to be wary of. There we go. Getting up to 9 lurkers. So it's going to be 9 lurkers, a decent corruptor count. Despite that, it's going to be 7 High Templar. That's going to be a lot of Storm. Defensively, Jumy can still take a fight. For sure. Out on the map, different story. Unless he does catch some free lurkers. Gets one. Firebomb on the mothership. Nice damage on the Tempest. Tempest getting quiet. Taking some hull damage. At least a little bit. Corruptors, they try to dive in. Storms behind the Corruptors. Mothership does go down. That's a decent storm count. It's 3 storms. Ooh, no storms left there. Uh-oh. Yeah, no storms remaining. Lurkers, they go to town on the ground armies. They'll take them in from behind. Oh, but no detection. Yeah, no detection. Zealous, they just get annihilated. And Yakov, he may have just done it. May have just barely done it here. Again, no observer, no oracle, no revelation, no detection. Jumy just now making observers. And Yakov is looking to force the ace match. And again, the MVP of this game for Yakov was that one lurker that was in the main that killed 30 probes. Technically 28, but essentially 30 workers. It's crazy damage. Is moving in for the fungal. Does collapse on the army. Have them as well. zoning the army away. Flashing on the Nexus. Zealot run by ZR, getting damage done. At least a little bit. Killing off certain queens. Nice feedback. YoungYakov just bullying back the main army. Jumy should never be able to expand. As he tries to, the base should be denied. Jumy does have bottom right, does have a full fresh mining base. That's the only expansion really that Jumy has. As he's fighting desperately here for his own natural. Vulnerable connects. Roger's moving in, but they do take a lot of storms to the face. But GG gets caught, and Yakov, he will tab the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Once again, we had Jumy with a rougher early to mid game. That is where Yakov was able to deal some critical damage, able to thrive, and from there just snowball out of control. From there, he was able to just constantly just keep remaxing, keep maxing out, maintain map control more importantly. From there, GG. GG. Now we're going all the way to game number 3. We're going to game 3. Game 3 is going to be on Tokamak. Oh boy. And again, no surprise here in the fact that we're going to the ace match. That's kind of where we expected these two players to take us. But do we go the way of Yakov or the way of Jumy? Yet to be determined. Yet to be determined. Yeah. As we are getting into game number 3. Yo, big shout out to Norbash Bash in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a great time in the tournament, as I believe Norbash was in the first round, was in the round 16. So thank you so much. Hope you had a good time. Likewise, I hope you had a good time last night as well in Duckling Open. I know that you've been supporting us for a long time on the Patreons, so thank you so much for competing. I want to say for some of the first times here. So thank you. Maybe had a good time. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the German Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself. Ooh, tying up the series, it is YoungYakov. Go. He's telling us in chat, what does Yakov mean? It's his name. It's his name. There you go. I don't know if there's any meaning, but I know that like there for some names out there that have like meanings behind it, I guess. I don't know if there's anything behind the name Yakov. So EB. Here we go, we're getting into our next game. Scouted with his Zergling. If he did scout the Adepts with his Zergling, then I did miss that. But I assume he did see with the Zergling just because he had the drone in position at the wall, if you remember. He had the drone ready to fully wall off. He missed the wall, unfortunately, so that didn't quite stop the Adepts. But yes, we did emphasize how little damage the Adept harass or the Adept aggression was able to deal. Despite that, I do believe that Jumy would have been able to recover from that. Again, as you pointed out, he did lose a lot of workers at his own main during the initial defense against the first wave of lurkers. If it wasn't for that damage, I do believe that Jumy would have been able to recover and actually make a game out of that. And actually hold his own against Jumy. Sorry, against Yakov. Similar to game 1. But now welcome one and all to Tokamak. So where are you going? Come back, papi, come back. Oh no. As he barely gets, oh no, barely does not get away. Yeah, barely doesn't get to the pillar in time, and with that the overload does go down. That does supply block YoungYakov. At the same time, he does slip into the bases, or at least he does force some inefficient mining. Gets one probe kill so far, he gets two. Yeah, 1, 2, can he get 3? Up, he can. 3 probes, not bad. Yeah. He's also counting alongside us. Yeah, 3 probes, really nice damage here from Yakov. A give and take is what I will say, because 3 probes is really nice. Unfortunately, remember, he got supply block, he lost one of his overlords, so a bit of a give and take between the players. True, true. If you don't see it, doesn't really happen. Ah, co-hope here. As Jumy from here, he expands, and behind this, we'll see how greedy Yakov is going to be. Now, unlike the previous game, this is going to be a much later hatchery here from Yakov. You can see he's already on 3, soon getting 4 queens. So game 1 and game 2, Yakov, he did go into a faster third base and delayed queen production. Here we have the opposite. Here it's going to be a safer start out of Yakov with a higher queen count and a later expand instead. And later drones as a result. Or later, I guess, larva from said third base. So you can see a much safer start. We have a bit of a dead harass slipping in. 2 adepts, they can one-shot drones, and they will one-shot. Drone's going to be going down. Despite the safer start, queens were out of position. Getting 2 drone kills so far. Gets up to 2. Shades into the natural. Gets another drone. 3 go down. See, this is where Jumy, if he was counting, which I don't think he was, that's where he says 3. That's where he retorts with 3. Free win. And then Yakov says, I didn't see. Ah. Oh no, he's doing it! They're listening to the stream, Papi. They know. They know. He can't count. No, it was 3. It was 3 drones. He's being gaslit. Este Jumy. Here we go. Here we go. As double Oracle does move out. Does hit the third, gets a drone, nothing major. Behind this, we have an earlier Baliness here out of Yakov. Looks like a safety Baliness more than anything here. Working towards a hive, working towards Lurker Tech, or I should say Hydra Tech for now. Also, melee is on the way. That tells us more that it should be Ling Hydra. There it is, that's not a Hydra Tech. The Oracle does take a lot of hits, takes a lot of damage. To hit the base. Can we force a cancel? It's getting quite low. Yeah, it's getting low here. And can we save it? Oh my god. As the base is going to be denied, does kill the Oracle though. So on the one hand, will slow down his opponent, but at the same time, that's the death of an Oracle. 1 Oracle left, barely standing on 3 HP. Oh my god. Worth it? I think it was worth for Yakov, I'll be honest. Don't know. Again, Oracles, they give you so much support throughout the course of the game, but at the same time, delaying your expansion means late larva, means delayed economy. Safe for Terran. He's not quite there yet. As Yakov's joining. He's joining up, he's going to try to saturate. Oh, God. You know what this reminds me of? I'll be on, like, oh no! Oh, Bailey's, they crash in, they take down 2 White Temple already. Okay, nice pickups. Very nice pickups here. They almost scored all 5. That was almost game. That was almost disastrous here. Ay, ay, ay. And I'm hoping the Jumy, pulls away those High Templar. But the way that they talk is unironically. Like me and Yaku at times. Which is concerning. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good at all. The brain rot is real. As Yaku is building up. He did end up catching a couple of High Templar at least, but pushing into these bases is not going to be easy. I was trying to emphasize this previously. I didn't really get into it, but again, if you tune into Cranky, Ducklings, you'll know this. Tokamak is, I would say, probably the most defensive map in the map pool when it comes to securing your 4 bases. We'll see if we can deny the 4th. Nice pick off. Okay, Yakov does force a cancel on the 4th base, containing Jumy. Behind this, taking up in towards Hive, joining on 4 bases. We'll see if Yakov can find any more damage. Picks off a couple of zealots. A couple of zealots going down. Storming some of the banelings. Yeah, it does deal with the banelings at least. But that was a lot of storms being spent. It's going to make it that much more difficult here to expand and claim the 4th. And here comes Yakov. Here comes a cancel. Yeah, Jumy out of position. There's another cancellation. Behind this, Jumy taking up into Sky Toss. I mean, this is the correct thing to do, but he needs a 4th base to pull this off. Needs that 4th. So far, nice Zealot run by. Zealot say distract. Everything turns back around. Oof. Ay, ay, ay. 6 drone kills, 6 workers. Hydras, they race back home. And this does give Jumy the breathing room he needs to expand. And now the 4th base will finally get up and running. So the MVP Prism kills workers, but again, more importantly, gives Jumy some time. Gives him time to expand. And now we have a game. Now Yakov is taking up into Hive, taking up into Vipers, taking up into Lurker Tech, of course. Meanwhile, Skytos now amassing for Jumy. And he'll be able to keep up on 4 bases. I may even favor Jumy here, as actually Jumy is going to be pushing. He's pushing pre-Lurker Tech. Lurker's not ready. That's going to be a lot of banelings. 20 banelings morphing in. Jumy, he backs off. He only has 3 Eye Templar, so not many storms. Not many storms left over. First one finishing up. It's out some of these stasis traps, only some. Banelings, they don't quite make their way in. Barely not. Takes down 2 stasis traps, takes down a shield battery. That's being rebuilt. High Templar once again, they're exposed. And with that 1, 2, 3. Oh, 2 High Templar go down. Nice pickups. 1 Templar left, no storm. Archons are going to try to force their way through. They pick off a couple of Lurkers, not bad. And Lurkers have no support. And currently I do favor Jumy's position, but Yakov is building up his upgrades, getting into Lurker range, into Adaptive Talons, eventually into 3-3, and eventually into more Corruptors. So Greater Spire's on the way. It's Greater Spire. Now, thankfully, when it comes to Yakov, thankfully the Skytoss is still slowly building up. There's only 3 Tempests so far, but it will slowly get up to critical mass. Yakov is rotating. Jumy a little bit late to respond. Uh-oh. Now late to respond. 1 Lurker goes down. There's not that much support for the Lurkers, though. Uh-oh. There's only, what, 2 Hydras, a couple of Zerglings. Lurkers are exposed, and here come the Tempest. Yeah, free damage. How many probes can he kill? Getting into the mineral line. Probes, they pull away. And this time they pull far away. No, they pull away. Lurkers, they just run into the army. Brutal pickups, and Jumy does take the fight at the same time here across the map. Zeltate busts into the mineral line. Drone's going to be falling. Hatchery as well. And Yakov is being torn apart. Yeah, Jumy, he defends, cleans up all the lurkers, and he takes down an expansion and half a mineral line. Oof. Yeah, it takes down half a mineral line. Yakov, he is in danger. He's in trouble here. Here comes Jumy. How many lurkers are left? 0. Oof, 0 lurkers remaining. And remember, this is mainly a ground-based army. There are corruptors, but we need lurkers. We need those lurkers here. As they're on the way. We have 3 lurkers morphing in, soon to be 5. Jumy doesn't like his chances. I do think that Jumy could have pushed through, but he's going to take it slow. He's going to back off, take it slow. Getting more Stargates, working towards carrier production. Prism goes down. As Jumy rotates. Yeah, he just takes it slow, rotating over towards the Finch expansions. Nice slow zone, catching out the queens. He's on a couple of workers as well. Unless they find another queen. Has to be careful to overextend and push into the bases. Again, I don't think we have to push into the 4th quite yet. But he kills the 5th. Yeah, 5th base goes down and Jumy's in control. Jumy, he's just snowballing out of control at this point. Takes down the center right and northern 5th base as well. Oh, Bailey's a question that takes into our Templar. Very nice. There's a recall. Leaves the Tempest behind. There's a lot of High Templar going down to the Bailings. But Yakov, he's gonna be broke soon. He needs an expansion. Yes, he does have somewhat of a bank, a mineral bank especially. But Jumy's economy is greater. As Jumy's getting up to 5 bases, the Protoss is up in expansion, up in economy compared to the Zerg. That's not meant to happen. It's rough whenever it does. There are 15 corruptors remaining. I mean, the corruptor count is quite high, true. There are 2 infestors. There is a chance. Like, there's a world where Yakov can take a fight, where he can fungal the army, where he can maybe deal with it a portion at a time, getting on top of the High Templar, denying storms. Speaking of, the High Templar count is quite low. Only 2 Templar. Lurker's trying to force a way in. Just pushing forward, let's go. Going for the Tempest. Oof, barely not. But he's going for the bases. Behind this, double expanding, taking the center expansion and the center left. Sees them moving in. Next is taking a lot of hits. Nice kind of God. The bait with the Tempest. Yeah, lurkers are exposed. Here comes the detection. And Jumy, he should break through this. I say that we have more lurkers behind this. Yeah, there's not enough on the ground, but there's plenty on the sky. Yeah, GG gets called. GG gets called behind this. Mineral line went down, 19 drone kills, and GG. Jumy will claim the series 2-1. Whew. GG, well played. Jumy, he will claim it. Again, Jumy, he was able to break out, able to pop off. On the one hand, yes, Yakov was doing a great job when it came to denying the 4th. If you remember, he denied the 4th base twice. Not quite 3 times. Like, he did deny it twice, which was great, but he was a little bit late to tech up. We spoke about it when Jumy got his 4th base up and running, then he could max. Then he could max out, then he could be active on the map. Eventually, he did get his 4th, and once again, we saw Yakov, I would say, being overly aggressive and overextending, specifically with his lurkers. He would be able to build up his first wave of lurkers, and he would be hyper aggressive with them to the point where he would throw them away and give Jumy the opportunity to recover, to bounce back. If you remember, the moment that Jumy took his 4th base was the moment that the Prism got across the map. We were giving him praise at the time, the MVP Prism, if you recall, which actually forced the entire army back home to deal with the Zealots, to deal with the Prism, which allowed Jumy to eventually expand. If it wasn't for that Prism, then most likely Yakov would have contained Jumy a little bit longer, which could have made the world of difference. But eventually Jumy, he recovered, right? He recovered, took his base, took his expansion, and with that, GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, Jumy does claim it, and with that, we're now getting into the lower semifinals. Oh. The semis are ready for us.